Hi, I'm Sugar, and welcome to my show. I appreciate everyone attending. Let me give it a few minutes. A few seconds. I don't like waiting too long. Oh, everybody else just see it on the repeat. You know, I just started doing these telecasts, keep myself busy because I want to keep busy. I don't want to, since I'm home healing my injury, I need to find something to do because healing your injury is not as much fun as you think it is. You have to stay in the house all the time because I can't move around as much, you know, and I need something to do. So here I am. So bear with me. Let me put this in the middle so my face can be in the middle as opposed to be falling down. Today is my hot day. I'm hot. So let me fix this. Also taping on this side. For some reason, when I do my live, I can't get it on any other outlet. I can only keep it on Instagram. So I have to, do this double thing here. I don't know why, but maybe because I'm not prolific in um, the Instagram thing and the tapes and the live and what have you. And then when I do live on YouTube, it takes like days days to upload. I'm like, wow, because I did a couple of seminars over there for a couple of people. They wanted to find out information in regards to my programs and stuff like that. So I did a couple of um some sessions over there, and I said upload, and it took forever. I mean, I fell asleep and it still wasn't pulled up, and then the next morning, no, it took like a day and a half just to pull up. I'm like, what's going on? But I'm so used to stuff uploading real, quick or whatever. But I guess, I'm learning. Okay. Today's topic, the fall of Rocafella Records. Rocafella Records had four owners. The original owners was three. Kareem Burks, Dame Dash, and of course, Jay-Z, aka Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z. So, three of them, they met and they clicked. So they become a partnership. Jay was doing his rap thing and his underworld thing, and he liked to write. Well, he liked to rhyme. He said he stopped writing because he would lose his paper stuff, and I can deal with that because I remember as a young writer myself, because I'm into poetry and stuff like that. And I used to be pouring my heart out on my papers and everything. And I had a little book, whatever, full of, poetry and stuff like that. And when I moved from Brownsville to Flatbush, I lost all of it. I used to be in school. I remember in seventh grade, I was writing a book, and I used to sell the book by the page because I was giving it to my classmates, and they was like, "Oh, give me more." I'm like, "I'm not finished yet." They were like, "Give me what you got. Well, give me what you got. I bring it back. I bring it back." So that's what I started doing. I started writing, and every time I write a page, one of my classmates would grab it from me and say, "Come on, girl." And they would all read my stuff, and they was like, hurry up, write some more, write some more. And then I started growing up with, Judy Bloom and all those kind of people. So I love writing. I'm into the arts. I love poetry. I went to a couple of poetry slams, and I remember one time I went up to Queens late night poetry slam, and I'm like, I'm not saying my verse because I don't have it. I don't have it stamp packed yet because the cheap way to do it is mail it to yourself and what have you. But it just came out of my noggin, as they used to say back in the day. And they called me up and everything, and I was new to the thing, but everybody else, because a friend of mine took me there. They said, "Come on, G, you know you're gonna like this poetry slam, somewhere in Queen." So when I got in there, I just, felt something, and everybody, all the poets was taking turns and whatever. So I got on stage, and I didn't want to say what I wanted to say because I didn't want anybody taking my stuff from me, because I'm a pretty deep chick. Not to pat myself on the shoulders, but so I said what I said, and lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, I heard another poet with my shit. I'm like, that's how that shit goes down. But I just love poetry. So anyway, he was a poet, but he never wrote. He stopped writing his stuff down because he kept losing it. And like I said, I can relate. And Kareem Burks, he's the third man. But Kareem likes to be in the background. Something like me in some of my businesses. It's not all the time you have to be up front. You can just be the money man or part of the money man. So that was Kareem's title, be the money man, because he just had other things he was doing, but he wanted to invest. So he did that. He still conducted his business on the side, but he still was part ownership of Rocafella Records. Dame Dash, on the other hand, a bright person. He was the get in your face kind of guy. He was pushy, he was bossy. He did what he was supposed to do for his team. You know what I'm saying? That was his job. His job was to go out there and get the work. You understand? So he went out there and he busted butt, and he went from label to label. He went from person to person. He went from radio stations to radio stations to get all his people on point. And some of it panned out and some of it didn't. But he did his job. He did his grind, because that's what Dame likes. He likes being on the streets among the people. He likes always. The other day I was like, damn, that sounds like me. So me and Dame got me and Dame got a few things in common. We just like getting things done. We're not scared of hearing no. If we hear no, we just move on to the next. And that's Dame. So that's what the guys need. So his job was to go out there and get some work. It seemed like I missed. So he did his thing. So Jay was the artist and Dame was the go-getter. And that's what, everybody did their job. And succeeded. Because finally they got to Def Jam and signed on. And what we know as Rocafella Records in 1996. They signed on to Def Jam, and they became a partnership. So everybody got 25%. Def Jam got 25, Dame Dash got 25, Kareem Burks got 25, and of course, Jay-Z got 25. So they got 100 right there. So they started venturing out. They started doing tours, whatever. But in the meanwhile, before they signed on, they was in their car selling they tapes and stuff like that. That's what they doing. They was going door to door. Like any up and comer, they was grinding. And it panned out. Dame did his job, and he got Rock. I was gonna say Rock Nation. He was gonna say Rock. He got Rocafella signed on, aka Jay-Z, because at the time Jay was the only artist. Jay had a homeboy named see, I shouldn't even went there. I shouldn't even went there because I have no Memphis Bleak. Him and Bleak, so grew up in the same projects in Bedford-Stuyvesant, and that's his oldest friend as far as I know. So they kept going, and Jay pulled Memphis onto Rocafella Records, and he became an artist. And then Cam was Dame Dash's best friend at the time, Cameron. So Cameron brought his crew, Dipset, and everybody had their own individual career. And so did Memphis Bleak. And then, of course, the rest of everybody else came off. Freeway and Siegel and all of them. Now, on the personal side, Jay was the top artist and he was making, Rocafella records stand out. So he had a lot on his shoulders. And to have a lot of on your shoulders is very hard. You understand? It just sometimes it looks easy, but it's not, because you gotta hold everybody up. So his thing was, I can bring you up, but you gotta stay up. Meaning you gotta do the grind. I can introduce you to people, I can introduce you to the audience, but you have to do the grinding and stuff like that. And with most new artists, the tomfoolery begins because everybody came from, the projects or the bad side of town, or not so wealthy or whatever, like myself, because I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn, and so you have to grind. So the tomfoolery began. They partied away their money. They had all the girls, and all kinds of stuff was happening. So maybe they was making records, but they wasn't really making the kind of records that would hold the radio station or the audience. Once in a while you would hear a good song here and there, but in the record business is what have you done lately. And you always have to have a hit. So there's nothing wrong with partying and stuff like that, but you always have to remember, you have to feed that cow. You understand? Meaning, you have to feed that thing that feeds you. And doing the tomfoolery is not the thing. You can have fun because everybody was young. Everybody was young. You understand? And I guess nobody knew, wasn't taught anything about finance and stuff like that. So, the jewelers came and the houses came. Well, the cars came before the houses. In some instances, there was a kit. There was a rap kit, and up to this day, I still don't understand. This kit is still in succession. So as soon as they get some money, they run to the jeweler. My father's a jeweler. I was trying to get my father up, and my father's a jeweler. So I'm like, yo, Dad, I'm getting some stuff in the rap business. Maybe I can have some of the rap. I was talking business because, like I said, I'm always thinking about business, even with my dad. I'm like, okay, you a jeweler. I see how much money these rappers are spending for their jewelry. 1 and 1 makes 2. You understand? So I'm saying my father been in the business since I was little, over 50 years. He was trying to get me into it, the jewelry business. I remember I'd be sitting at the table making jewelry and stuff. I'm like, this is not me. But he wanted to pass it on to someone else, and I was the eldest. So anyway, I made jewelry when I was young. So I'm thinking all this. I'm like, this rap kid still exists. Once these R&Bs and these rappers get some money, they run to the jeweler. I'm like, okay, well, you just spent $260,000 on some jewelry that as soon as you walk out the door, it's going to depreciate. You understand? Unless it's like some flawless kind of diamonds you got. And flawless costs money. Why don't you just get a house? Or hook up your mama? Because eventually you're going to want to hook up your mama. You understand? Instead of buying all that jewelry and, spending on something that's not going to appreciate, put it in a house. And that'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You will get your mama out the hood. And by the time you really hit it in success, the house will appreciate. You understand? So there go your $260 that you invested in a chain. I understand you have to look cool, but you could have used your name to get borrowed stuff. Because half the stuff you don't use twice. You understand? And you just use it to show, and then you put it in, you lock it in, or whatever, and you don't use it twice. or some rich people, or do like some. I'm not going to tell you. There's a little secret with the rich people. I'm not going to tell you. So anyway, that's what you do instead of in. And this is for the future up and comers, girls and boys. You know, when you get that signing bonus and you get that first number one single, whatever, don't run to. And this is no hate on any jeweler, whatever the case may be, but I see so many stars and people fall because they don't plan. They don't do their financial stuff. You understand? So stop getting that kit. You understand? You're in the business. You get borrowed clothes. Use that. Invest in yourself. Invest in your parents at an early stage, and buy a house and put your parents in it while you tour, whatever. Because eventually, when you do make it big, you're gonna want to buy them a house anyway. So buy a nice house. Buy a house with the money that you're gonna spend on the jewelry and stuff like that. So anyway, they became partners and whatever. So Jay is always thinking ahead of schedule. Jay think years ahead. He's like no other that I know. And he was looking for a girlfriend. And of course, when you're looking for a girlfriend, you're not to say that he was depleting of women, which he was not, but he was looking for a certain type. You understand? And I'll skip over all the other chicks, okay, and I'll jump straight to Aaliyah. Well, not straight to her, but before that, he was dating some other people. But every time he was dating other people to find out if this is a chick or not, here come Dame Dash. And Dame Dash was always putting ownership on Jay, and Dame Dash was always making, little slight comments trying to make Jay feel ugly. You understand? But Dame Dash has a long record of stealing his friends' women. That's how he married his wife, and that's how he got his present baby mama. You understand? So he always feed off of his friends' women, current and present, and past. Yeah, if he see one of his friends' girlfriend that he likes, he jumps on them. He don't care if that's his friend or not. Ergo, what he did to Jay. So, a couple of girls before he was dating, and he told Dame about it. The next thing he heard, Dame is pushing up on these girls or whatever. You understand? And he wanted to date Aaliyah, and Dame wasn't paying Aaliyah no mind. He was not. And when Jay and Aaliyah started talking, that's when Dame took not liking. He set out to get Aaliyah. I couldn't understand it. I'm like, this is your boy. And I don't understand that here is a man who's breaking bread with you. He's partnering with you. Everything he makes, you're a part of it. So I don't understand the underhandedness. He's breaking bread with you. It's not like he's doing everything behind the scenes and you ain't making nothing. He put you in charge. He was barely in the office. Everybody had to go through you, Dame, and Kareem. You understand? And he was out there grinding, doing his tours or whatever, doing his TV spots or whatever to keep I keep saying Rock Nation, to keep Rocafella Records on float. And you keep crabbing and going to get his women. And not only going to get his women or his prospects, you understand what Dame Dash was doing. Say, for instance, you and I are in partnership. And like I said, Dame Dash was the one that was always in the office. You understand? So that's why all the other talent started getting used to him, because Kareem wasn't there and Jay wasn't there, because Jay's job was being talent. You understand? So all the guys got used to Dame doing stuff for them. You understand? But the stuff Jay was doing, they didn't really acknowledge. But keeping your name out there is a hard job. Keeping your record label on top is a hard job. You understand? So he did his grind. So anyway, Dame used to take the money. Say, for instance, you made $5. Dame used to do all his personal shit with the $5 because the $5 is profit of whatever. And he used to, and supposed to be split in three because Def Jam already got this. You understand? Off the top, off the rip, as they say. You understand? Because some of these artists, you guys don't know that all those videos and all those clothes, the makeup artists and the hairstylists and all, that's on your dime. So when you hear a budget, when you hear an artist get a budget, that budget is for whatever they have to spend on you to get you to where you gotta go. Or they give you a budget for a video or whatever. They have to recoup that because they're investing in you that this video or this project is gonna make them more money. So anyway, so Def Jam got their money and Dame was in charge of him, Kareem, and Jay's money. But what Dame used to do is run wild with the $5, call everything a business trip or business expense. Meanwhile, he didn't give nobody the 25% yet out of that $5. He's spending. What he was supposed to do when Def Jam get their money, he was supposed to split the $5 between him, Kareem, and Jay. And then you do all your stuff. But no, what he was doing, he get the profits from whatever project that Rocafella Records had. He would spend to his heart desire. He would go on lavish trips. He would buy all kinds of clothes. He would be ordering this, ordering that, going to the fights. He was doing all on Rocafella budget. And then when finally somebody asked him, "Yo, what did we make this time period?" You understand? He said, "Oh, I meant to give you your half." So after he spends out of the $5 and now what, 2.5 cents, $2.5 is left because he spent half of the $5 on him partying and clothing and stuff and whatever, going to so-called business meetings. I don't know what kind of business meeting every you got in boxing matches and stuff. Yeah, those kind of things. Yes, you can meet people, you can parlay or whatever the case may be, make other events or whatever. But it was becoming a habit with Dame that always using the money. So anyway, he spent half of the profits that he was supposed to split in the first place. Then he wants to divide the 250 into 3. So that kept happening over and over and over again. So when, I don't know if Kareem heard, but when Jay heard, Jay didn't like it. And he approached Dame. And of course, Dame denied it and say, no, he's not doing that and blah, blah, blah. Look at the books, look at this, look at that. So then it kept happening over and over again. Because now some of the guys is coming in bragging on what they did last night with Dame. You understand? And Dame thing, he don't like saving. He likes, like he said, he wants to spread love in his hood or whatever the case may be. He don't want to save nothing for the future. You understand? So he want to spend, but you want to spend money that wasn't yours on all your projects and all your all your traveling and whatever. You understand? And you can't do that in any partnership. Any partnership, you can't do that. Because if my partner did that, spent more money than on what they like to do or whatever and called it business and don't give me my rightful profit, I'm going to have a problem with that. So when I hear people saying, because the other day I was hearing Kaya saying, oh, how can Jay do this, blah, blah. She was talking about, and I'm gonna continue with the story. Now, when Jay heard that, of course he approached Dame and they spoke, and Dame denied it, but it kept happening over and over again. So that's like what, two strikes, because now he's dating people that Jay told him about. Yeah, because Jay thought he was a good friend. So when he see a girl that he liked, he would tell Dame. The next thing he keep hearing, oh, I saw Dame in blah 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 in so area with so and so, or they push up, or the actual person would tell Jay. You understand? So there go the embarrassing pictures of Jay and Aaliyah and Dame in a couple of pictures. Because one minute Aaliyah is leaning towards Jay, the next minute Aaliyah is leaning towards Dame. So it wasn't love. It was just, I'm gonna take all your girls from you. And I don't know why he was doing that. The man is letting you run the show. The man is giving you all access to the money. Now you want to clown him, because now at that point all the other crews was making money. You understand? So the third thing was, I mentioned Memphis Bleek. Memphis Bleek came in before Cameron. And Memphis Bleek been with Jay most of his life because they grew up in the same area. And when Rocafella was hitting off or whatever, then they brought in Cam and his crew and Dipset and whatever. And they started, bringing the light, having the hits and things like that, So the third hit was, now when you're in a business, you're supposed to have a conference. And you're supposed to say, well, it's time for one of our guys to get promoted. And you discuss stuff. I don't know if you discussed it with Kareem, but he sure enough did not discuss it with Jay. You understand? And from what I heard, Jay and Cameron was not really getting along too hot. They was not getting along too hot. But, he's like, okay, that's Dame boy and Bleek is my boy, so I understand. I just step back. I won't make it a big thing or whatever. So third thing that Dame Dash did, besides the Aaliyah thing, because up to this day he's claiming Aaliyah. You understand? I say good riddance. I'm sorry for all you Aaliyah fans. I didn't really look into her situation. I saw what was happening when I saw some of the pictures that they all three of them was taken or whatever, and I saw what was happening, but I didn't know that she was trying to go with the one that would take her somewhere. You understand? So it wasn't really, I love you or I like you. It's like, what are you going to do for me? Which is nothing wrong with that. You understand? So Dame was telling everybody that, I run this record, and it's because of me that Rocafella Records is what Rocafella is, and blah, blah, blah. So she leaned towards Dame's side. And that comes from firsthand, because I know one of the chicks that Dame Dash was trying to talk to under Jay's nose, that Jay was talking to. I know her personally. So I'm not talking hearsay. Yes, he told that girl that Jay is a nobody, and he's the one that has Rocafella Records going, and they should go with him and leave him alone because he ain't nobody, and he. So Jay heard the girl rejected Dame Dash. She did. And because she was, she really liked Jay. And she went and she told Jay that somebody in your crew She didn't name names. Somebody in your crew came after me. So Jay started suspecting everybody. Jay started not respecting, looking at everybody because she didn't name names. But later on, she found out it was Dame. He found out it was Dame. So what Jay did, like any other artist that's not happy, Jay went to his people in Def Jam and he said, "Get me out this contract." Plain and simple. Now you can't keep kicking a man and making a man feel whatever you want to make him feel and doing it in public. You understand? He was doing it in public. So unbeknownst to Dame Dash, Jay-Z no longer wanted to be his artist like he calls Jay his artist as opposed to my partner. You can't have no meetings with my artist. Excuse me. And he was always calling Jay his artist. Not his partner. Or at least calling Rocafella Records artist. But he was always claiming Jay as his property. Showing him no kind of respect at all. So Jay was like, to hell with this guy. So he went to the people above and said, "Listen, get me out of this. I don't want to be his partner anymore." And this is what you're going to hear.
Y'all should have called Damon Dash and said, "You want the whole fucking thing to hear it? Keep the door open. I don't give a fuck." Y'all should have called Damon Dash, make sure I was privy to it, and make sure I was CC'd or whatever. You don't send an email randomly at 10:30 at night, whatever it is at night, the day we all out awake. That shit don't fly right. That shit is fucked up. And on another level, it's not for y'all to do. Y'all do not control any of my artists. That's why I'm asking questions. Everybody's looking dumb in the face. So what was we doing? What was we talking about in terms of the day? Let me know.
Why don't you just call the meeting?
Why?
Because you knew what it's like.
Why?
Even no one.
Why? Who cares? Why? We all here. Why now you want to call a meeting?
Because no one needs to sit there and be.
No one is telling me get the fuck out. I don't give a fuck. Then get out. This is not about you. We're gonna do something about Jay. We're gonna do it together. All right then, but why you didn't call me? You want to make excuses? You can talk all you want. This is treacherous. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit. And go get Leo. You always leave when you ain't got shit to fucking say. Say you just got sued for this bullshit. The same kind of shit. Y'all better stop fucking with me. Y'all gonna get your man in some trouble. I'm telling you. So if y'all want to talk about Jay, if there was an agenda, let's go through it.
Nah, we're gonna reschedule, man.
What the fuck you mean you're gonna reschedule?
We're gonna reschedule, man.
What you mean you're gonna reschedule? You get the fuck out. Look, y'all heard now that Rocafella said no one to go. You're not a leader. You don't know shit about my culture. Get the fuck out. You don't know shit about Jay. Get the fuck out, Randy Acker. That's why all artists kick your fucking ass anyway.
Excuse me?
That's why you stay getting punched in your face by other artists, not by Dame Dash, but other people, because you don't respect my culture. That's why. That's why you've been smacked. Not by me, by other people. Get out of here. Beat it. No one needs you. Get out. Clear a sample or something. Call security. How y'all calling meetings without me, B? That's what I need to know. They come on, man. That's what I need to know. You get your staff, get the fuck out. It's all good. Don't have no meetings without me. No more. Just like I thought. Just like I thought. Then when my staff comes, y'all can't.
2 mistakes to stop in order to get in shape.
I always say stop doing cardio.
So-
lose weight because there's just.
All right, guys. Question of the day: Why women?
He spazzed out. But this meeting was called because of Jay. Jay co-signed that meeting. He was tired of Dame shit. And he tried to do it like a man. He tried to approach him and ask him, yo, what's going on? And Dame would look at him like he's some idiot and lie to him. You're going after his girls. He's spending his money like crazy. And then the Cameron thing. So just like everybody else, Jay heard on the radio. He went, I think it was Angie Martinez's show. Dame Dash went on Angie Martinez's show and announced they got a new president of Rocafella Records without passing it through Jay. I can't speak for Kareem. I don't know if Kareem knows, but Kareem is shiesty, so Kareem probably knew about it. But I can't speak for Kareem. So here he is with two shiesty partners. So anyway, he told Leo and them, I don't want to be his artist anymore. Since he keep calling Jay his artist, I don't want to be his artist anymore, and I definitely don't want to be his partner. So bam bam, boom boom boom, arguments thing. He was out of Rocafella Records. He told Dame Dash that he's selling his portion to Def Jam, and he did. He sold Rocafella Records. He sold, and later on he sold the Rockaware, to a company, or he was just getting rid of everything that was partnership with Dame Dash and Kareem Burks. You understand? And because the man didn't have it, he just had it. You're insulting me, you're embarrassing me, and then you don't even consult me on a business that we're all partners in to say that you want Cameron to be president. Like I said, Cameron and Jay didn't really, care for each other or whatever. But that wasn't Jay's thing. It wasn't because of Cameron. Jay was saying, well, Memphis was here first, and Memphis is always putting in the grind. Yeah, he's my buddy, but he was here first. He showed and proved, just like Cameron did. You understand? So that was Jay's beef. He was thinking on a business level, but it looked like he was thinking on a personal level because he was leading towards Memphis. I mean Bleak. Let me call him Bleak. He was leaning towards Bleak, not on a friend thing, but on a business sense thing. Because he showed and proved. He brought in the numbers. And plus he was in Rocafella Records before Cam. You understand? But both of them had their best buddies. His was Bleak, and Dame was Cameron. So instead of them having a meeting, and he's saying, okay, well, we're going to think on a business platform. We're going to have a president now. But at that time, Cameron was hitting it. You understand? So he took that to say, well, the reason why I'm putting Cameron as president is because Cameron bringing in the numbers, but so was Bleak. But now it's Cam's turn, because what they was trying to do, they was trying to bounce off each other. They was trying to keep Rocafella in rotation, but they wasn't trying to overstep each other. They want Cameron to shine, they want Bleak to shine, and of course they want Jay to shine or whatever. So at the time that he made this decision to make Cameron president, Cameron and Dipset was making it. They was up. It was their turn now. You understand? So that's what Dame said. Well, he's bringing in the numbers. But you didn't consult. He didn't consult with his partners. Like I said, I can't speak for Kareem because he's a snake. So maybe Kareem knew, but Jay didn't, for sure. Jay heard on the radio like everybody else. He's like, Cameron's what? So when I think he went on the station and he says, as of now, we don't have a president. I don't know what Dame's talking about, whatever, because he was pissed, So, of course he spoke to Dame and he's like, yo, how you going to make a decision like that and not consult me? You understand? And But those are some of the sneaky things Dame Dash was doing. So when I hear Kaya was saying something about how Jay treated Kaya, the one hit wonder, I love her show though. Yeah, she be telling people off. I love that, but she be getting some shit wrong, you know. But her and Jaguar, Jaguar. Oh my gosh, she hates. I'm like, what is going on? But I read I'm off the subject here, but I read the reason the beef with Jaguar, and because nobody knew Jaguar until she had that MTV Live thing with Jay-Z. So I'm like, the only person that helped you in the industry, you keep going after. What the fuck? What the fuck he did so bad? Because after him in the MTV thing, I didn't see nothing about Jaguar. Because I really loved her voice. I love that. I love that concert. And so I'm strolling through YouTube and I'm seeing Kaya talking about him, how bad Jay treated Dame, and how Aaliyah really loved Dame. And how Dame really loved Aaliyah. It was a conquest. It was a conquest. You understand? And he won in that conquest. So anyway, with the conquest, so Jay went on the radio and he said there's no president of Rocafella Records. I'm sorry to break your heart, and whatever, and all hell broke loose because Cameron took it personally. But the beef was with Dame, not with Cameron. But of course, he's gonna take it personally. He's gonna be like, oh, yet another thing that me and you don't like each other for now. You understand? But everybody's feelings got into it, and it wasn't like that. It was just business. And he was not. Dame didn't have a conference with Jay, so Jay's like, whatever, and so he had Aaliyah now, so he promised her the world, how he would get her, Dame Dash. He had Aaliyah now, so he promised Aaliyah the world of what he's going to do for Aaliyah. Now, if this was you, what would you do? But he was trying to do things for Aaliyah with Rocafella money. And part of Rocafella is Jay-Z. So Jay-Z said, no, you're not going to uplift your bitch with my money. You uplift your bitch with your money. And he went to the higher ups, Leo Cohen and he said, I want out. You promised her the world. Do for her. Okay, I wish both of you well. I'm glad she showed her face at the beginning. Because he likes stuff like that. He likes when a girl show they ass up front. He do. Like me. I like that. I like when a nigga show they ass up front. Yeah, show me that you're a jerk off so I can fucking not waste my time with you. And that's what she did. She showed him what kind of woman she was, and he wasn't heartbroken as people think he was. He wasn't. He was heartbroken that his partnership was going down and his so-called best friend was doing whatever. That's what he was heartbroken about. But Aaliyah, no. He was happy she showed what kind of person that she was. So he told Dame Dash straight up, you promised your bitch that you're going to take her to the high moons, do it with your money. You're not going to do it with mine. So he wanted out, and he got out. Because you promised her stuff, you so-called took her from me or whatever. Do you. Have fun with her. You lose her how you get her. You understand? So he wasn't a saver, as I said in the beginning. Remember? He says all this himself. When he gets money, he likes spreading it, making everybody happy, buying this, buying that. So now he don't have the 1/3 of the money that he was spending to make everybody like him. Because that's why, people in Harlem used to like him, because he used to go out there and spend money like crazy. Or wherever he goes. But he was spending Rockefeller money. He wasn't spending his own money. So 1/3 of it just went out the door. Make sure all your girls get their dreams, and make sure you can afford the bitches you steal, because she's expecting a lot. So anyway, she went to Bahamas or wherever she taped that thing, and Dame Dash couldn't afford the extra days. That thing, he was putting pressure. I know you're hearing a different story, but I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna synopsize it real quick. She went. She was making that video in the Bahamas, and he couldn't afford the rest of the days for her to stay down there to shoot. So he gave her a time limit to shoot whatever. And when somebody in his camp called and said that he was sick or whatever, she jumped on the plane. And like I said, he couldn't afford it. I would have just said, okay, mail my stuff back. But they put all the stuff on the plane, and you know the rest. The plane was overloaded, and she died. So that's the story. That's how she passed. I know this is not it, but it's part of the Rocafella story, because people going around, wondering and praising this and praising. No. He was promising his girls this and that. He couldn't afford it. He told her to wrap it up. So he had somebody in his camp call and say, Dame is hurt. You got to meet him in, I think, Miami or somewhere. Yeah. And that's how she ended up. Because they were saying, oh, well, he wasn't even in Miami. That's what his people told her. To get her from, to wrap up the the music video. You understand? Because he still had to look good. Like he's daddy cakes with the dough. He couldn't tell her, well, Leah, I can't afford, you staying all extra days. I got to pay dancers. I got to do this. I know he comes from the record label, whatever, but he was doing stuff behind the scenes. You understand? And he couldn't afford it. So they called her. She rushed off because she thought he was in distress, and overloaded the plane because of finances. That's why she died, because he couldn't afford to get another plane for the rest of the luggage. And nobody used the noggin enough to say, well, let me get FedEx or UPS and have the stuff mailed to me, since we can't get all the luggage on it. But nobody thought about that, And in the heat of the moment, I know, it's a lot of stuff you probably don't trust, and you're in a Caribbean island, so you don't know the mailing system. I understand all that, but you have assistants. Assistants supposed to be prepared for stuff like that, and nobody did their research to mail the stuff to her. So anyway, she passed. So, at this time, Jay was fed up. They broke up and they went their separate ways. And then he was looking for other projects to do. And here comes Def Jam wanting him to be president. You understand? So remember, when he left, he sold his portion to Def Jam. So Def Jam was listening. I'm looking at a message my cousin just sent me. So Def Jam was looking for a president at the time, because the president at the time was leaving. So they offered a few other people the position, and they didn't want it. So they asked Jay to hold the position until they can find someone, because Jay was like, no, I don't want it. So they asked Jay to do him a favor. So, Jay, the constant businessman, he said, well, make it worth my while. So they had Rocafella Records and all the other stuff belonging to Rocafella. This piling, gathering dust. So they said, okay, well, we give you this for Rocafella, the that for Rocafella, blah, 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 blah. So what would you do? Would you say no? It's not that he went out and asked for it. He said, make it my while. So he said, okay, that sounds like a good deal. So they inked it. And he became the president of Def Jam. But according to some of the bloggers and stuff like that, like Kaya and the rest of them, they were like, oh, well, he went behind Dame Dash back. Dame Dash had the same opportunities like Jay did. and Dame Dash sold his portion, and so did Kareem. But they got mad that now he owns the whole of Rocafella. But at that time, there's nothing much you can do about it, because all the other artists wasn't, thing. And he took half the artist, and he gave he gave Dame the other half. They just wrote all the artists down and ripped it in half, and somebody handed Jay one, and he had us listen, and so Dame saw the process. He was right there when they was just writing down people, and they just ripped it in half and said, here, you take these artists, that artist. And even though that was how they ended it, he went to each artist and say, okay, I got your name down. Do you want to sign with me? He didn't go in there and say, okay, well, you're mine now. He didn't do none of that. He asked them, each one of his artists, your name landed on my list. Do you want to stay? Some of them said yes, and some of them said, no, I guess. I can do better, I can do this, I can do that. So he said, okay, no argument. And he kept whoever wanted to stay, and he said, okay, you signed off. And that's how it was, as simple as that. Dame, on the other hand, he was dinging all his artists, taking their money, owing them this, owing them that, because Dame likes spending. Dame don't like saving. And Dame likes spending other people's money. Up to this day, some of his artists still griping about how much he owes them, his past artists, and or Rocafella artists. And they griping that he stole a lot of their money because he was used to that life of spending other people's money. So whoever didn't want to stay with him, they went to court. They went to court to get off Dame's side of the project or the label. But on Jay's side, Jay's like, okay, you don't want to sign with me. Okay, fine. You're off. We're not going to go through, whatever. And two different personalities whatsoever. And that was it. And when he signed on to be president of Def Jam, they said, okay, well, we have, because, at that time, everything was disbanded. There was no more artists for Rocafella Records or whatever. So therefore the catalog and stuff and just the name and the clothing was available. So they presented it to Jay as part of the contract, plus his, I think, $3 million salary a year. He got $3 million a year. And plus his signing bonus and stuff like that. He signed, and Rihanna is one of the artists he signed. And that was that. He was holding that spot until they found a president. And then some of the artists, because Jay went around saying, okay, the inmates is running the asylum. So, all the artists felt, okay, he knows the artist side. He's gonna, thing. But then, then the president knocked on Jay's door and said, no, that's not how business is running, sir. Yes, you could tell your boys the inmates is running the asylum, but there's some checks and balances that has to balance out. So all the business side is going on the inside, and here it is, everybody's rearing up to get the advertisement and the this and the that. And Babyface is like, no. To Jay. And whoever was president at the time, so Jay don't know what to do. Jay's like, well, damn, I told my peoples, they're gonna have to fly his videos, they're gonna be doing this. Y'all making me look bad. Because, like I said, Dame Dash was running the show. So Dame Dash knew all about that stuff. And remember, Jay told him, listen, you know, I didn't want the title, but they asked him to do them a favor. So, you know, everybody had hopes. The inmates was running the asylum. So when all the other artists start getting a no, they start pointing at Jay. Oh, he's jealous. He only want to advertise his stuff. He don't want us to think. Ergo, LL Cool J. Now, LL Cool J started Def Jam. He was the very first artist on Def Jam. Him and Jay I didn't even, I didn't really know that. And him and Jay started not getting along. So LL was telling people that, and other artists like, oh God, I'll get his name in a minute. Likes me morning. Yeah, him. I'm sorry. He was telling people that Jay didn't want to promote any of his projects because Jay was jealous and Jay wants all the attention. And all the other artists were saying that, but they didn't understand the ins and out of business and the funding. And Def Jam was also, not doing well because one of his top labels was just disbanded. So Def Jam had to, rearrange some things so they wasn't financially astute at the time. So the artist did not understand. Meanwhile, he brought in, a couple of other artists. So all the rappers, because he's a rapper, and got upset with him and told him he's only favoring his career as opposed to everybody's career. And I don't know if he tried to explain to them in regards to the budget wise and that he had somebody he had to answer to. But they didn't understand that. And he tried to tell them. But on the outside, it does look like, oh, well, he's only going to have high budgets for him. That's why his wife left his label, because, she was singing with the other people. And anyway, so that's how Jay and left Rocafella Records, because his money was being spent. He was being played for a fool and whatever. And Dame said, I can make another Jay. And I'm still waiting. It's 2023. I'm still waiting for that another Jay, Dame. You understand? So that's the story of Rocafella Records. And you got to think, if you had business partners like that, what would you do? You understand? If they were spending your money like that, what would you do? Would you remain? No. They were spending your money and talking about you like a dog and doing stuff behind your back to make you look stupid. You understand? So, a man got to be a man. So he didn't want to look stupid in front of the whole industry, so he had to bow out and let Damon Kareem have it. He just wanted out. So that's the story of why Rocafella Records broke up. For all the people that don't know, for the non-insiders. Think about it. You understand? What would you do in Jay's position? So anyway, thank you for coming in and joining the conversation. And hopefully, I'll build and whatever, and more people start coming, asking me questions and stuff like that. And this show will be great. So everybody who joined, let me wave back. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here. Bye for now. Mm. Oh, still on TV. Excuse me. Pig. Oh my God. Yeah, so that's the story. They was just Dane was just not being a nice guy. And that's the truth. That's the inside story. And you would want your business partner to respect you. But when you see your business partner don't respect you, and stealing your money, what would you do? What would you do in that instance when you find out that your business partner is embezzling money? Because that's embezzlement, you know? That's embezzlement. He was embezzling money, and Jay could have sued him. He could have sued him, but he didn't. He said, I'm gonna just take my losses, and I'm gonna just sell my portion of the record label. So that's the that's that's how it went down. Yeah, and he told everybody, "Oh, I can make another Jay-Z." So he was like, "Okay, make another Jay-Z. Make another Jay-Z." Let me see if you could if you can do that. And to this day, I haven't seen him do that. So all the big talk that he's talking, you know, he still hasn't meet. He still hasn't meet his prime. You understand? And it's sad because it was a good record label. And if all that stuff wasn't going on behind the scenes, they could have been, because the people who was on there, the people who was on,
The laziest job that I've ever found.
the people who was on Rocafella Records, they was pretty good. They was pretty good. But you know, a person can get you to where you want to go, but it's up to you to stay there. You got to do the grinding. You got to do the writing in cases of rappers and stuff like that. You got to do the grinding. You got to go out there and do the tours. You got to go out there and do the meet and greets. Those are the things you have to do in order to make it in this music industry. It's not an easy industry, I'm telling you. It's really not. So you just have to do your homework. You have to do your homework and you have to do your grinding. And while you're a starving artist now, do your writing. So when you get to the top, you already have all your stuff for the next album and the next album and next album. Whatever album deal you signed up for, if you signed up for a 4-album deal, make sure while you're a starving artist now, you stay home and you grind and you write. So when they ask you, where's the next album? You already have it. And all they have to do is put the sound to it, the music to it, whatever. You understand? You do that. Just keep writing and you do it. And put it somewhere where you can't lose it. And don't tell nobody where you have it. Because along the way, you would make friends. And these friends are not friends for the most part. You know, these friends are not friends for the most part. And if they find out that all your thoughts and stuff is hidden on a computer, the next thing you know, that computer disappears. Or a phone or whatever, it'll disappear. So wherever you're keeping your music and stuff, I suggest you keep it to yourself. Because somebody would try to steal it. Or somebody would steal it and claim it for themselves. You understand? For you up-and-coming artists. So thank you very much for watching and listening to this podcast. And watch, my series. Today is Thursday, April 27th, 2023. Thank you for listening, and I do appreciate everything and all my fans and everybody who watches my videos. This is Sugarheads, and I'm on Instagram, Sugarheads2, one word, number 2. Sugarheads, the number 2, one word. My podcast is live every day at 12 p.m. from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. And you can catch me on YouTube at Boss Lady Sugarheads. And you could watch these videos on YouTube. So thank you very much. I do appreciate all my fans. Please subscribe. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what I have to say, subscribe, press like, press share. I do appreciate all my viewers. I do appreciate subscribe. Slowly but surely, I'm getting up there. I'm not trying to get nothing fake. No fake viewership or anything. I want to see who really likes me and who really not. So if you like me, don't be afraid to subscribe so you can know when I'm taping stuff, when you know when new stuff come out. Be a subscriber. You understand? Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye for now.